everyone, welcome to Manchester Met. It's lovely to see you here today. My name's Emma and I'm the Student Recruitment Officer for Degree Apprenticeships here at Manchester Met. So if you do have any questions after this presentation, because due to the chairs we'll be probably going through this quite quickly, our email address is just apprenticeships@mmu.ac.uk. So if you do have any questions or queries, we're obviously going to be at the stand at the front, but if you do need anything, just give us a shout on the email address. So just while you're here, we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. We started offering degree apprenticeships in 2015 with a team of, I think, 6 people looking after a cohort of 60. And since then, we've pretty much snowballed in both aspects. So we've got over 2,500 apprentices on our programmes. They're looked after by around 100 different members of staff. Everyone from onboarding new companies, making sure they're financially viable, all the way through to graduation at the other end. And we work with over 600 different employers as well. So there are some of those available on our website for you to see, and some of them are here today as well. What we're really proud of is what we offer our students, but also what our students go on to do as well. So you'll probably meet some apprentices today and you'll hear some great stories about what they're doing in the workplace and how they're contributing to their companies. And they are literally inspirational. It makes me really jealous that these weren't around when I was thinking about university. They think we're pretty all right as well. So for the past 5 years, we've been voted the top university in the UK for degree apprenticeships and outstanding on Ofsted as well. So just like schools and colleges, we have all of that. But our apprentices are fab, and over 130 of them have gone recently on to win either regional or national awards because of what they're doing in their apprenticeship. So in terms of the levels of apprenticeships, I'm sure you already know this, but just as a quick run through, there are 4 different levels of apprenticeship. Today we're going to be speaking about the degree level apprenticeships. The reason I put this slide on is because sometimes students might not necessarily have the qualifications that are needed to get onto a degree level apprenticeship. So they might go up to a higher level apprenticeship, which is the equivalent of doing the first 2 years at uni. Or they might move sideways and go on to an advanced level apprenticeship, which is the same level as what you're probably doing in college. So A levels, T levels, BTECs, that type of thing. But sometimes people sidestep and then work their way up within that company as well. And our apprentices are a big mix of that. So some have gone straight up to degree level apprenticeships, some have worked up in different ways. So just like going to university, it's not always a linear route. Sometimes there are a few other options available. In terms of what degree apprenticeships are, the crux of it is that 80% of your time will be with your employer, working in their company, doing your day-to-day job. The 20% of your time is then used to complete your degree. So it might be with a university like ourselves or with a private provider as well. So it just depends on who runs that apprenticeship with the company. As part of your full-time employment, though, you've got a minimum of 6 hours per week of what we call off-the-job training time. So that off-the-job time can be used to attend university, as part of your degree apprenticeship. It could be to do additional training, attend conferences, or acknowledge all the key skills, knowledges and behaviours that are required of your apprenticeship to pass the apprenticeship side of your degree apprenticeship. So there's loads of ways in which our companies do that, but that's a legal requirement that they have to give you that time. At the end of the day, both the employer and us want you to do well and thrive, so they try and be as flexible as possible to make sure that you're getting that, getting enough time to do everything. In terms of the most common subject areas for apprenticeships, here at Manchester Met, we don't offer all of these sectors, but as a national picture, this is the type of sectors that are taking on apprentices. So typically 4-year programmes, you're looking at around BCC and above in terms of entry requirements. Massive push on transferable skills as well. So making sure that all your teamwork, leadership, time management, all of those types of things are noted down in your application, because that's what employers are looking for as well. And just like with anything else to do with education, we look for your GCSE, English and Maths at level 4 and above. If you don't have that, there are some opportunities to do something like functional skills level 2, but they do prefer you to have that before you apply. Just a little bit of a difference between entry points for undergraduate routes and degree apprenticeships as well, because they are 2 different systems. So undergraduate routes can ask for probably around a minimum, I would say, for a 3-year undergraduate of 104, going all the way up to 144 UCAS points. They might ask for subjects that are related to the course that you're wanting to study, and they will look for those transferable skills that you've gained through your time at college or wherever you've come from beforehand. With degree apprenticeships, they typically hover around that 104 to 112 because there is a huge emphasis on those transferable skills. Some of our courses will ask you for a subject that's related. So for our lab science ones, we ask for you to either have the biology or chemistry. But a lot of the time, that emphasis is shifted over to that transferable skills as well, and looking that you can demonstrate those well. In terms of the benefits of degree apprenticeships, I think if I just put this slide on alone, everybody would run off and try to get a degree apprenticeship. What I would say about apprenticeships are that they are for people that are really wanting to get into that world of work and get the degree at the same time. They're not an easy option compared to going to university. In fact, the application process is a lot harder in terms of competitiveness and what companies will ask you to do. In terms of benefits, there's no tuition fees. So in different amounts, the government and the company will pay for that on your behalf. You do get a paid salary. So here at Manchester Met, we don't work with anyone that offers national living minimum wage. So for an 18-year-old, it's just over 16,000. I would say some of our courses go well above that in terms of starting salary. Obviously, you're in the workplace for 80% of your time. So you get loads of work experience that you can use to help you with your learning. So contextually, the stuff that you're doing at uni will definitely help you in the workplace and vice versa as well. So if you're really someone who learns by doing, they're a great option for you in terms of getting your degree. And then those opportunities for fast career progression. I think it's around 76% of our students have had at least one promotion or pay rise in those 4 years of getting their degree apprenticeship. However, from speaking to apprentices, I would say most of them are getting yearly increments at the very least. So there are other benefits as well that you can talk to me about on the stand. In terms of support for apprentices, I think a lot of people think as a degree apprentice, because you're in two worlds, you might feel a little bit lost. And as we all know, a sense of belonging is really important, and we do a lot to try and have that sense of belonging for you, both in the workplace and at uni. Just like going to university, your fellow apprentices are the biggest network of support. So you'll still be with the same people on the same course for those full 4 years. However, they might just be working in different industries. So for digital marketing, someone might be working at Bentley Motors, someone might be working in the NHS, someone might be working at AJ Bell, and they bring loads of experiences into the classroom. You get designated lecturers and programme leaders. So just like at school and college and at uni, you will get designated people that will be a point of contact for anything related to your course. You are full members of the student union, who, as probably everybody knows, that they do all the fun stuff to do with uni. So like all the clubs, societies, nights out, all of those types of things. They support the student welfare. So if you don't want to speak to someone at university, you can speak to the student union because they're run separately. And they also project the voice up of the students to senior management as well. I would say all of that is open to you as an apprentice, but as you're in the workplace for 80% of your time, you don't often get let out to go and play sports for the university, for example, on a Wednesday afternoon. So to kind of mitigate for that, we work closely with the Association of Apprentices that do loads of social activities for our apprentices, not just here, but like regionally as well. So you do get full membership of that. You also get a skills coach, which is a little bit like the pastoral staff in college. So they make sure that everything's on track, help you with any problems you might have, and just basically are a point of contact for the university. They work really closely with the workplace mentor as well, which does the same thing, but from the other side, managing your workloads and all of that type of thing. And they have meetings 4 times a year to make sure everything's on track, and especially that you're noting down all of those key skills, knowledges and behaviours for your portfolio that will then end in your endpoint assessment, which is what you need to pass your apprenticeship to show that you're meeting what the industry's asking you to meet. In terms of the other benefits, you attend university around 25 days per year. Some courses are more, some courses are less. If you do want to know about the makeup of that, you can go on our website and it'll tell you all the breakdown for each course. Mostly, I would say, is a combination of assignments and work-based projects. There's very few exams related to these degree apprenticeships. Again, why I'm jealous of people that can apply for them, because I hate exams. And then you get that off-the-job training as well, which is a really good use of your time. Some companies as well let you stack that up. So if you've got loads of assignments due in, they will help you have more off-the-job training at that point in time so that you can then make up the time later on and get all your assignments in as well. In terms of the courses that we offer, at the beginning I did say we offer 19 courses. These ones are available to college leavers. So you've got Chartered Management, Creative Digital Design Professional, Digital and Technology Solutions, which has 4 pathways, Cybersecurity, Software Engineering, IT Consultancy and Data Analyst, Digital User Experience, Healthcare Science, and the 2 Lab Science ones there do ask you for the relevant chemistry or biology or chemistry for the bioscience one as well. These are the kind of career paths our students go on to. So as you can see, they're not boring jobs, they're highly paid jobs that are really exciting. So at the forefront of the companies as well. And our apprentices do incite a lot of changes in companies, which is really nice to see. And then these are just some of the employers that we work with. I didn't have time to put 600 on a slide, so apologies. But if you do need any help with any companies, just give me a shout and we're on the front desk there. We can tell you a little bit more about that as well. In terms of the application process, we highly, highly recommend that if you are looking at degree apprenticeships, you still go through the UCAS process as well. It works in a couple of ways, really. So the UCAS process is really helpful to kind of eke out all of those skills and attributes that you have as a student and relate them to something that you want to study at uni. But it also helps you with your CV writing as well, going through that process. The other reason we ask you to do both is that, as we've already said, and you probably already know, that degree apprenticeships are highly competitive. So on results day, you don't want to be in a position where you've not been offered a degree apprenticeship and you've not got a place at uni or an application in the system. If you are successful in getting a degree apprenticeship, it's literally just a click of a button to withdraw from university. If you don't do that, it means that if you're starting from scratch, you might not have the support of college as well. So definitely apply dually. So 5 choices at uni and then as many degree apprenticeships as you want to. As you probably are aware, undergraduate degrees, you apply directly through UCAS and they distribute your application, the same application, to your 5 choices. The set deadlines and timeframes for that. For degree apprenticeships, all of that gets thrown out of the window really, because all of the companies have different recruitment strategies. So you apply directly to the employer. So we as a provider won't find out about you until you've been offered the job. And you can apply for as many as you possibly can. I would say from speaking to our apprentices, I'd say you're looking at 10 to 15 applications for companies. I've met one apprentice in my time here that has applied for one and got it, but he's a fluke. So most of them are 10 to 15. So you've got to be showing your resilience really, making sure your applications are as good on the last one as they were on the first. And there aren't any set time frames for this either. All we can say is there's a peak time between October to April, which I appreciate is 6 months of the year, but that tends to be when most of them come out. I know when we did our apprenticeship open evening in the first week of November last year, some of our companies had already finished their recruitment process and decided who was taking their places. So really important that you get that application ready over this term and into the summer. In terms of searching for vacancies as well, this again varies compared to the UCAS process because there's loads of different places to find information and loads of different websites that companies will advertise their vacancies on. These are just some of them. I'm not going to go into detail because I know we're stuck for time a little bit. But if you want to know more, again, come and see me. In terms of what you can do to be proactive in your searches, I definitely recommend setting up alerts on the gov.uk website. At peak time, this can have thousands of different levels of apprenticeship vacancies on there. So having that alert set up means that it comes directly across to your email as soon as it comes out, taking a little bit of the stress out of it. You can do that on our website as well. But again, we don't take any applications. It'll just direct you to our company's website. UCAS-wise, last October, they came up with a nice apprenticeship portal, so you can look for degree apprenticeship roles, all apprenticeships, graduate and internships as well. What I would say is sometimes if you're looking for a degree apprenticeship, some of those other roles do filter through into your search, so making sure that you are applying for a degree apprenticeship through there, because obviously that compared to a placement is a completely different thing, so making sure you're setting up alerts and doing some searching on that. And then in terms of the application process, I've gone through a lot of this with some of our companies. So these are the most common things you could be asked to do. Definitely be asked to do either a CV and cover letter or an online application. Some companies ask for both. That's submitted directly to the employer. The other certainty is if they like you, they'll invite you to an interview either online or in person. The other bits are things that they can ask you to do on top of that. So telephone interview used to filter out initial applications. They'll ask you why you want that apprenticeship, why that company, and quite often now there's questions on things like sustainability or ethos and values of that company, all of which you can find on their websites. Tests or in-tray exercises seem to be really popular as well. So maths and English tests and psychometric tests. Some companies ask you to do that online, but they'll be watching you on Teams while you complete it as well, just for the added stress factor. And then you've got the assessment centre, which is, as a potential apprentice, I think a massive opportunity to showcase who you are as a person rather than someone reading it on a piece of paper. So usually held at the employer's offices, but they'll do team activities, they'll do individual exercises, you might be asked to do a presentation and your interview might be included in that assessment centre. They'll have people watching you from the moment you arrive, seeing how you interact with people, and they'll be scoring you on a matrix so everybody gets the same sort of scoring. So these, if you do get invited to them or have opportunities to do mock assessment centres at colleges, take that up because it just takes that added sort of pressure off and you know what to expect. And then the interview could be part of that or you could be invited back later. In terms of applying for us, you can register for those vacancies. I'd say do that this term and then as you're ready to go for year 13. Look on the website, definitely research the employers that you're applying for. They love hearing about themselves in applications, so tell us what you love about them, any competitors they might have, any targets they might be wanting to meet and how you're going to contribute to that. It does say there peak vacancy time November to April, but it's definitely moving forward, so just keep an eye out, I'd say, from October half term. Application processes do vary, like we've just said, but just bear that in mind with your timings. Make sure that CV's ready and tailored to each application and just be resilient with them as well. If you are successful, that's great. They'll ask you to sign a contract setting out the terms of an apprenticeship. Just like a university offer, I would say most of the time they have a condition in related to the grades that they've asked you for. The application process from the university's point of view is only handed over to us at that stage. So we'll ask you to complete a short application form, usually around this time of year for you starting in September. And then you'll begin with us in September in line with the undergraduate. So towards the end of September, beginning of October, which means that you might start your job on the 1st of September, giving you a few weeks to settle into that before you start your degree aspect of it as well. And then in terms of student living, another question we get asked a lot, this is just a quick one. With undergraduates, obviously you can either live on campus, just off campus, or you can commute in, and we will offer student accommodation. With degree apprenticeships, because you are going to be in the workplace for 80% of your time, you're not really needed to be at uni, we won't offer accommodation as we would do for undergraduates because you'll be in the workplace for that amount of time. We can help you find things like professional households. I can't guarantee how professional those households will be, but you know what I mean. You can move into them if you need to move away from home, but I would say the majority of our students do live at home or close to home and commute into their workplace. So we don't offer student accommodation for our apprentices. If you do want to find out more, obviously you're here today and that's brilliant. But if you do want to come and have a look around all the other facilities at the university, we have open days in October and November as well. But like I said, if you do need anything, I know that was a whirlwind tour, but if you do need anything, we are on the desk and I've got loads of skills coaches there today to help me that will answer any questions you might have. But thank you very much.